Welcome everyone to a casted game of Age of Empires 4, and today spawning on the east side of the map, playing in teal, we've got Voldemus Maximus, also known as Demu, playing as the Ottomans, and his opponent on the west side of the map, playing in yellow, we've got loueMT as the English. Welcome everyone to Lipany. That is the map for today, and well, with this civilization matchup, I'm sure it's going to be a great game. I think these two civilizations, they lock horns very well. I think the meta has changed recently quite a lot. And whilst these two civilizations can be very aggressive against other civilizations in different matchups, I think generally against each other, it's a fascinating one, right? Because the Ottomans, they get free units from the military school. They got a very strong feudal age, but so do the English. They can really build up those unit numbers very quickly from the council hall and barracks, getting the spearmen and longbowmen out very quickly. And they can often lock horns in the feudal age, but they can also lock horns in the castle age. Having said that, I think Castle Age is a very strong point for the Ottomans, and I say that because they get the Mehmed Imperial Armory, right? And they get the free mangonels, which can really do a lot of damage to the heavy infantry-based army for the English. They often go for longbows, often go for spearmen, and that can be punished quite hard by the Ottomans. So I wouldn't be surprised to say today if Demu goes for maybe 2 town centers into Castle Age, and just maybe defend with free units from the military school. It's always a possibility. But it has to be careful, right? Because the English could, in fact, go for a very heavy feudal age. I think in many ways, the cards are dictated by the English because they are quite flexible as a civilization. And if they do be aggressive, then the Ottomans have no choice but to stay 1 town center. I think the difference between the Ottomans and the English in this scenario is the double town center firing of arrows. It's really strong. You can see attack there ×2 for the 8 bow. On the ranged attack, it does mean that they can be very greedy if they want to, the English. So I think generally, if you were to have an asymmetric start, like one civilization go for 2 town centers and the other one only going 1, I think if the English went 2 town centers versus just the 1 town center, the Ottomans, the English can often defend that really nicely if they play a very compact economy and still produce units. And speaking of producing units, well, it's going to be English going up with the council hall as we kind of expect that landmark, and the Ottomans gonna go up with the twin minaret madrasa. No real surprises there early on, but we do see the villagers coming out to stone for the English very nice and early. 5 villagers on that, and that's going to get that second town center very fast for the English. They are known to have a very fast second town center uptime, and in fact I've actually got a build order on the channel, so if you do play as the English a lot on Age of Empires 4, I've got a great 2 town center build. It's super fast. In fact, you only rely on straggler trees. The aim of that build is really to get that second town center as soon as you can, really fast. Speaking about map generation though on Lipany, it can be very erratic, as you can imagine. It's always gone through that kind of phase in Age of Empires 4 Lipany with crazy maps spawns. Today, not so bad actually, pretty symmetrical. The wood line's pretty fair, I'd say, more or less. And the wood lines are nice and safe and secure for the English, which is important, of course. You don't really want that forward wood line. The resource that he does have forward is this stone. And that's not a problem because, by the time Sipahi are on the field, these guys will have collected enough stone for that second town center. Speaking of stone for another town center, well, Demu's doing just that himself. He's going to be matching like for like, getting the second town center himself. And I think generally this is a good play because if Demu tries to go for 1 town center against a 2 town center English, it can be very all in, right? It's pretty much all in, to be honest, at that point. And it can be very tough to deal with. But going 2 town centers himself for the Ottomans is actually a nice move because if we talk about eco bonuses generally and bonuses for the 2 civilizations, the English main eco bonus is farms, right? And there's farms are not going to come into play for a very long time now because take a look at the second town center. It's an absolutely phenomenal town center. Look at it, deer, berries, stone, wood, pretty close by, and the boar as well. What more could you possibly want? You could maybe want gold, but let's not get too greedy, guys. Has a great second town center, but it does mean there's a lot of food here, right? And it means that the farming transition will come in later. It means that the economy bonus isn't really being in use for the English. On the other hand, the Ottomans, if they do get the military schools, well, that bonus could be coming into play, but he doesn't have any just yet. He's going to opt for that second town center himself, peeling away a decent number of villagers, 10 in total to go northwards, probably into that deer pack. There is a similar sort of looking town center here with the boar, the deer, and the gold and the wood, but unfortunately, of course, the Ottomans aren't able to take the boar meat there, adhering to the Islamic tradition that they they have. And it does mean the second town center, as you can see, already up and running for the English. It's going to be getting that little bit of extra villager lead early on. And behind this, you can see there's a stable there for the Ottomans. Going to be looking to counteract any sort of longbowman play. Not many were made so far for loueMT, just focusing everything on economy so far. Going to look to just protect his gold. Now, the gold is pretty exposed for both players. You can see loueMT making sure that his one is safe. There are 3 villagers out here for Demu. He needs to be careful. Maybe get an outpost himself. We shall see. There's no scouting information either. Where is Demu's scout? Here it is. Oh no, that's the Sabahi. In any case, we'll see whether he spots any early aggression coming forward, or even if there is any, because the Council Hall is actually idle at the moment. It's actually not making any units for now. Just making sure he keeps that second town center running, I suspect. Alright, well, survival techniques coming in for loueMT, making sure that he gets the most of the deer pack and make sure he gets that super fast. That will help him start to produce those spearmen. The spearmen are not cheap. They do cost 60 food per unit, and when you factor in he wants to keep up longbow production as well, it can be an issue. 6 villagers on gold for now, for Demu. Looks like he's going to edge towards that castle age. Now, speaking of castle age, this could be a great time for an attack coming in from the English, actually. Because of the fact that, well, you know, he could pressurize this gold, right? It could be a big issue. He's heading across the map now. Yeah, heading forward. And he's going to look to pressurize that gold almost immediately now. And Demu's got to be careful. On the back of this, though, loueMT starting to wall up, keeping that deer pack safe on the west side. On the edge of the map. Nice bit of food income coming in there for later on, I suspect. Oh, we've got to keep an eye on these units because the scout is not in position, right? So Demu won't know about this. Heading through the stealth forest, and Demu's got to be careful. There's quite a few villagers here. Will he react in time? loueMT. I get a few villagers. Oh, he's not gonna. He's gonna get at least 1 villager. There's one going down very soon. Demu needs to back off. He's not just yet. Oh, he's trying to raid on the front, but there's nothing there to hit Demu, and he's got distracted for a second. He loses 3 early villagers in this match, and the longbows got so much value. These three longbows, these 2 spearmen. Taking down 3 villagers. Might even take down this mining camp with the scout coming with some torch damage as well. And it's not a good start here for Demu. He was already behind the villagers and is pushed back even more. Looking to bring the Boros close to the town center. Needs to be careful there, Louis, not to lose a villager. Does save him. He lives to fight another day. Oh, got to be careful there, Louis. He does manage to make sure that they're safe and secure. That's going to be a great food income boost for him, right? That's going to be a very fast castle age for him. He's going to lose that mining camp. 3 longbows going to idle that wood line as well. And that's such a big difference in this early stage of the game. Amount of eco damage already dished out is huge. And this could be a situation where now Demu needs to think about turtling up a little bit. Maybe just minimize the damage that's happened by greeding out a little bit more. Looks like he's got Anatolian Hills, a vizier point, getting extra sheep for the Ottomans. And he's getting his second. Well, he's got two military schools so far, but only just getting the blacksmith now is such an important feature for the Ottomans, actually, this blacksmith. Because what it does is it actually increases the production rate of the military buildings by 20% in the feudal age, 30 in the castle age, and 40 in the imperial age. Ooh, deer pack pretty much saturated. It comes to a situation where farming transition might become necessary, actually, which is kind of a problem for Demu in some ways. Although he can venture out to the deer pack here. He's got to be careful about it because Castle Age is coming in for the English. Going up with the King's Palace, that's going to make him have 3 town centres. And he's already ahead in villages. So loueMT looking in great shape so far. Looking to just wall up on the east side as well. Make sure he can survive into the late game. Alright, well, whilst the Castle Age does come in, Demu's going to need to think about getting the Castle Age himself. And, okay, he's pulling a lot of villagers on gold. He needs to get the Castle Age fast, right? He understands the game, he reads it, he knows his opponent's going to the Castle Age. He's got to match like for like, because man-at-arms could be coming in soon for the English. I would like to say a very big thank you for all the YouTube members that have joined the channel, really supporting. It's absolutely fantastic. Lots of support on the channel recently. Even that, you know, just by liking the video, it does so much for the video itself and the channel. So I really appreciate you all, you guys. The support's been fantastic, and I can't wait to continue that, well, the content really into the new DLC, the new civilizations that are coming. And there are 6 new civilizations. Well, 2 new civilizations, I would say, and 4 variant civilizations. The Japanese, the Byzantines, 2 of the new ones. I mean, let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to know what people are most interested for, which civilization excites them the most. I think for me, I mean, I like the idea of the variant civilizations. I think they'll change things a little bit. But I love the fact that we're getting new civilizations. The Japanese and the Byzantines. For me, I think that's going to be fantastic. I can't wait. You know, obviously I've had a sneak preview of the civilizations already. I can't really obviously say too much. But what I will say is that Age of Empires 4 is in a great spot at the moment. And it's going to get even better. And I can't wait to show you guys more of those civilizations for sure, for sure. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below which civilization are you most looking forward to seeing. I think a lot of you will probably agree it's going to be either the Byzantines or the Japanese. But, you know, it could be the Ayyubids, could be the other ones too, with the interesting names. But that's a whole different discussion. Now, Demu does get to that castle age himself, goes up with the Mehmed Imperial Armory. Going to get in Mangonel after, well, 2 minutes. Actually quite long. I mean, I guess he only just got the blacksmith. Is that the reason why? No, still 2 minutes on the clock for that. It'll take a while, but once it does get out there with the Mangonel, he'll be safe. He'll be careful though, because the infantry number's starting to build up for the English in the form of the man-at-arms and the longbows, and well, a couple of crossbows as well to add to that. Looking to get the outpost. Now, something that's actually kind of interesting between the two civilizations. The outpost obviously gives the network of castles bonus, which is very, very nice for the English, and the Ottomans have kind of a mobile version of that with the meta. He's trying to get a foothold in the middle, and he has channeled most things into the middle of the map now. Although there is actually still a sneaky opening here. He's got to be careful that Demu doesn't start to maybe try and trickle in units there. I'm not sure if he notices it, but yeah, that's an awkward spot, that's for sure. Whilst I take the YouTube membership overlay off, I would just like to say as well, everyone that's subscribed on Twitch, a very big thank you for you guys as well. I'll need to actually sort that out. As a little banner going across to shout you guys out, and also Patreon, what you guys very, very generously supporting. And going to be walling this up a little bit, but will he get them up in time? I suspect he will. I don't think necessarily Demu could do too much damage. He might be just looking to poke and prod. With this number of man-at-arms, he's got to get a couple more crossbows on the fields before he can kind of be comfortable pushing this. And let's talk about relics, right? This is actually kind of an important feature in the Castle Age, of course. One relic has been deposited already for loueMT, going to get another 2 on the way. And that's something to consider, because obviously in the late game, every bit of gold matters. Going to steal this one on the middle of the map. And primarily because he just has a unit dominance, right? 31 versus 18. Demu's very far behind at the moment. Especially now there's the third town center in play, right? I think Demu really at this point has to think about late Imperial Age, because he's going to lose if he just keeps trying to fight in the Castle Age. At the end of the day, he's behind on eco, behind on military. He's got to find a way to make it such the villager count becomes irrelevant, and then take some really better fights, and just hope that loueMT takes some suboptimal ones, because there are relics coming in plentiful now for the English. He's got 3 already. He's got more than his fair share. There are 2 relics on Demu's side. He's got to make sure he protect those. It's unlikely that the English will get them, but always got to be careful. First Mangonel rise out onto the map. I'll give him a little bit of oomph to his army. He gets a keep on the front gold, right? He wants to really protect that position. He kind of got punished the first time round. Wants to make sure that doesn't happen again. I would like to just direct you guys to one particular unit for the Ottomans, a unique unit. And I think generally in the late game, it's such a game changer. I think generally you expect the English to be really much on top in the late game because of the enclosures upgrade that they get. But I genuinely think, and we've seen it a couple of times on the channel recently, and I think I'm going to look to try and highlight it a bit more if this game doesn't. But the Great Bombard for the Ottomans is such a strong unit. Especially that you can get some of them for free from the Mehmed Imperial Armory. It does splash damage. I think on their own, it's just, you know, obviously a very nice boosted normal bombard. But when you have a group of them dishing out a lot of splash damage, with the number of HP, the amount of HP that they get with siege crews as a possible vizier point upgrade, with the janissaries being able to repair them, it's such a strong unit in mass. But you do have to mass them up. They're very expensive. And I think it takes about 2 minutes for them to come out of the Mehmed Imperial Armory, so you have to really wait a long time to get a big mass of them if you're not going to want to invest into paying for them. Looks like both of them actually ended up stonewalling that little choke point, with Demu getting a stonewall gate in the middle. It's a pretty slow start for both players. I mean, Demu did take a bit of damage. Ooh, bit of aggression here with man-at-arms. He's looking to take the relic. He might try and yoink this one. Only one Sipahi was defending that with 4 man-at-arms. The Sipahi won't be able to challenge that, and I think Demu needs to get there quick time. With this Sipahi, he's heading with a couple of lancers too. But the relic is being yoinked, and we talked about how unlikely it was to get that. But, well, I guess I'll take it back. Although the cavalry... Oh, no, they're going for the units. They're not going for the monk. He needs to go for the monk. The monk's going to get away with it. He's going to kill the units, but it's going to be too late. He's noticed it now. It might be too little too late. Oh, he's not... the stealth forest is saving loueMT there. He's peeling away a couple of units, but by the time... Even if he notices it now and charges in, it is too late because the monk's just going to get in through the gate, and that's going to be a 4th relic in for the English. And factoring enclosures, that's an incredible source of gold passively. Be very population efficient as the game wears on. We'll be looking to get 1 sacred site though, Demu. But with only 1 relic to his name, Demu's kind of struggling here a little bit. He's going to be running out of sheep pretty soon as well, and is on the deer pack, but there's only 2 more deer left. He might need a hard transition to farms. Speaking of farms, there's the farming transition for loueMT. 1 full pack of 8 and 1 pack of 6. Got a siege workshop. The springles, no doubt. There's something that the English really have to do in this matchup. Make sure they mass up springles, because the siege for the Ottomans is always very strong. He denies the stone walls here on the west side. And there's a bit of an oversight in some ways, because loueMT only went for palisades. They're only going to last for so long. He does have an outpost, which is fortified, which will certainly help. Spearmen on hand, just 1 though. 1 hero spearman. The villagers try and gather out. Spearmen coming in to try and defend. They do snare the lancer. That's a good engagement there. They're just coming out to fight as well. What's going on? I think the villagers might be coming out to try and repair. Wait, is he going to try and build the palisade walls? Maybe the stone walls? I don't know. They're kind of being lost there, unfortunately, for loueMT. Got slaughtered. But it did allow the spears to get a couple more hits, but not a lot. And look at that. Well, great work by the loueMT to try and deny that stone wall, but Demu builds around and is going to go for that Imperial Age. I like this play by Demu. He must know he's behind on economy, right? He's up against 3 town center. And so he knows it needs a tech advantage. It's going to come in soon. It's going to go up with the Imperial Observatory, a very common landmark to get to the Imperial Age for the Ottomans recently. Acts as university, which really increases the speed at which they attack up, really powers up with those technologies, as you can see. And it also, of course, improves the influence provided by the university and blacksmith to 100%, which is incredibly strong. They really do pump out a lot of units very fast because of that. There's the meta with the cross. Yeah, they got to get out of there. I'm not sure many of them will escape. Only the meta. Well, looks like we're going to be teeing off for a meat grinder type of game, but we do love to see those sometimes. But certainly you feel like Louis is in a good spot, right? 108 villagers, 72 military. But he does need to get to that Imperial Age and get those upgrades, I feel, at this point. I think at this point, he's not really doing too much with his army, so making sure that he gets to the Imperial Age, gets enclosures as soon as he can. Start to build up a bit of a resource bank and then spam out units. Make sure he takes cost-effective trades and fights and then just try and wear his opponent down, because he does have the better economy. Roller shutter triggers coming in. Janissary guns as well, coming in, +3 damage increased for those units. Interesting that he's using this unit, the Janissary, because it is hard countered by the longbows. But it's certainly a helpful unit to have. He's going to have a Berkshire Palace in an awkward spot. I mean, I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of this. It's very defensive, which is not a bad necessarily in and of itself. I mean, I guess it plays to the hand of trying to wear his opponent down and try and bleed him out of gold, but the trade is always an option for the Ottomans, right? They can always go for trade, and whilst it will obviously eat into their population space, in the late game, when you've got 200 population versus 200 population, maybe having sort of 20, 25 traders to help with that gold income, it's not the end of the world. But certainly when you factor in the enclosure on the other side of things, it's very strong to have. Being very passive here, loueMT could potentially have been aggressive with the military he's got, right? He's got a lot of those units. Berkshire Palace will go up. Protect that middle gold. But it doesn't give him much of a standing ground to attack from, right? If the Berkshire Palace was here, it would be a totally different story. He did have springles against mangonels. I think the mangonels were his main threat against him. It's very defensive today, loueMT, it seems. Which is unusual for him. He's often thought to be a very aggressive player. But enclosures is queued up, and tithe barns as well, which is such a great technology for loueMT today. I think he's got 4 relics. Allows the relics in the monasteries to provide an income of 30 food, 30 wood, and 30 stone. Every single minute of the game. Nice little bit of trickle of more resources. Oh, but there are 4 mangonels here. This could be devastating mangonel shots coming off. Doesn't actually get much of a connection there. Springles should pick off 1 mangonel. Oh, he focused on the villagers in the end. It's a bit rough. Oh, mangonels, they're not deployed. Oh, they are now. Oh, but it's too late. He loses 1. Mangonel shots get off on the spearmen mostly. Bombard on the back line. This could be a big, big fight. Bombard's going to be taking out a lot of those units on the front lines. Take a look at that. Splash damage coming out on those man-at-arms. He does lose another mangonel. 2 mangonels still alive. Oh, look at the bombard taking out the springles on the back line. There are a lot of villagers still mining gold, and Demu doesn't mind it. Great choke point there to fight in there for Demu. I think he misread that a little bit, loueMT. He never really had the fight in his advantage in that choke point. Not with the number of mangonels, not with the great bombard on the back line. Trying to capture that sacred site, which is optimistic. And he won't manage it. Things starting to heat up a little bit on Lipany. This is where things start to get a bit exciting. Gotta be careful though, loueMT, because this is a very big death ball of units from the Ottomans. 78 versus 58. Taking that one bad fight has really changed things. Mangonel deploys, doesn't get too much value. The palisade walls acting as a nice safety buffer for the English. Here they come once again though. The walls do go down, and here's a big fight with the Sipahi in the front line. Does lose the one of the mangonels. 3 springles versus 3. But the great bombard on the back line going to dish out a lot of splash damage. Oh, loses 1 springled. Oh, this is bad for the English. He's lost all the springles to the Sipahi. The Sipahi, the main MVP in this fight. Great bombard going to make short work of that outpost. The Sipahi diving in. He won't be able to dive in too much further though because of the Berkshire Palace and the stone walls, but this is a great initial engagement by Demu. He's taken such a great fight against these units. 64 versus 16 military. At this point, Demu probably just needs to back off, regroup, maybe get a couple more great bombards out. He's got map position in the middle with that keep. Can go over to stone once again to get more keeps if he wishes. And now he needs to slowly work on getting that stone wall down. Second great bombard coming out soon. The trouble is these guys are so beefy, right? Look, it's also being repaired. Oh, he kept it alive. Look at that. The Janissary's repairing. That's absolutely huge. Oh, he does lose it in the end, though. The springles take him out. Gotta be careful, though. These are very expensive units, Demu. If you can mass them up, that could be his win condition. Surprised not to see this. As I say, I was about to say, surprised not to see this camp by Demu. It is now. Now, loueMT can have to back off and try and get as many farms as possible. He's really struggling on food, would you believe? Let's take a look at the income per minute now. Yeah, 2,000. I say he's struggling, but it's not really. It just needs to... The issue is for loueMT is that whilst it's great that he's producing a lot of units, and we talked about how he just needs to spam and make as many units as possible and take good fights. He's making units, but he's not taking great fights. Now, he's making a transition into hand cannoneers, which will do a decent amount of damage, but yeah, those 2 fights, they were terrible for loueMT and the English. Bombards take the palisades down. Berkshire Palace firing away. Looks like the Ottomans going to try and pressurize once more. Try and break the stone walls if he can. Gotta be careful about the springles though. 3 or 4 of them for the English. Oh, Demu needs to be careful. It might be turning into a siege fight, but 2 bombards on the back line, dishing out so much damage. So much splash damage coming in there. Man-at-arms absolutely melting. Bombards, if they focus on the springles, that would be a big threat taken away. Speaking of taken away, well, Demu's taking his army away. Another good third fight. In the north, a little bit of aggression coming on the stone, on the gold rather. Keep is built, so the villagers will be safe for now. Slowly but surely, bombards coming out. Oh, Demu deletes the stone walls there, going to make it a way through. And, oh, this is smart play. This is so smart. And this all comes down to the Great Bombard dishing out splash damage. Like, Demu can afford to take fights here, but loueMT just cannot. Because if he takes a fight here, his infantry units are always at risk of getting absolutely smashed by those Great Bombards. Well, this could be a bit of a bait. If the Janissaries sit on top of the hill, they could actually snipe some of the Springolds. Doesn't get in range in time. Trying to bait in the right side with the Sipahi. Gonna go back in the middle. Bombards need to deploy. Do now. Gonna try and break through that stone wall. Gonna take maybe 2 hits. He breaks through. The Janissary's gonna sit on top of that hill. He has the high ground. The Sipahi going to try and act as a meat shield, and there's a third bombard coming in, but one of the bombards does get taken out. So unfortunately, there are 4 Springles. That's actually a good response there by loueMT. He loses one of the Springles, but oh, that's bad for Demu. He lost 2 great bombards. The Janissaries on the top of the hill, though, with the meta banging on his drums, and the Sipahi on the front line as a meat shield. This should be a decent fight in the end for Demu, rather. Could have been better. He wasn't able to keep up with the great bombards in the end. He takes the fight now. And he's going to try and take out as many of those man-at-arms as he can with the Janissaries on the hill. The Sipahi still trying to act as a great meat shield, but the 2 imams healing up as much as they possibly can. There are 2 of the metas trying to help the fight if they can. Now the hand cannoneers starting to build up in numbers, but not quite at critical mass. Springalds heading into the fight as well. And the Great Bombard too. And now the Great Bombard is going to try and fire off and try and dish out damage for the English. Doesn't quite manage it to do that much. Here come the Springalds though for the Ottomans. There are a lot of them. The Springalds is a nice touch there by Demu. He recognizes his bombards on their own can't dish out damage. He needs to take care of the English siege first. He's going to do that with his own Springalds. And the Sipahi on the front lines, the Janissaries on the back line, hand cannoneers fighting against the Janissaries, the Sipahi peeling off. A little bit to go on the east side, maybe to take out as many villages on farms if they can. The Springalds going to take out each other. It looks like Demu might win that fight though. Mangonel gets taken out. Absolute mosh pit of a fight. Oh, the Great Bombard takes a Springald though for the Ottomans. He has to back off for now. Man-at-arms trying to chase that down. Janissaries and crossbows could do great work against the man-at-arms, but again, both players mashing it out against each other. Pretty equal in that fight in the end of it. And now, well, the Great Bombard is going to have to head back home, for now at least. Ooh, he sniped that Springald on the retreat, and he's going to stonewall that up again for the English. There's one Great Bombard coming down the middle, maybe a bit of a change of attack place and positioning for Demu. But on the back of this, we do start to see the trade coming online, because gold is a bit of an issue for Demu. Doesn't have the relics, or at least he only has 1 for now. And is starting to get that trading transition. Going to slowly move forward now with his rams as well, adding in some rams. 2 of them. 3 of them. Starting to build up in numbers. Looks like it's a really nice army composition here for Demu. Sipahi, elite Sipahi with elite Janissaries. Elite man-at-arms though for loueMT, trying to act as that front line shield, but they're getting ripped to pieces by the Janissaries. And it just feels like longbows, it's always tricky. It's always tricky because of that threat of the Ottoman siege with the mangonels. Going for longbows could be an option to try and take care of the Janissaries, but they're quite squishy. But the man-at-arms dishing out a lot of damage, taking out a lot of that Sipahi front line. Man-at-arms going to try and surround the Janissaries if they can. The rams are a bit of a waste here for Demu. But the bombards are fighting back. Reinforcements coming in nicely. Oh, there are 2 Springalds here. 3, make that 3. Fighting across from the low ground. Takes out 1 Great Bombard. That's great value. Great Bombard does break through the stone walls for now. The Bombard heading back home for the English. But 48 military for loueMT is actually looking pretty decent to maybe take this little fight in the middle. Could this be a way back into the game for him? Quite possibly. We'll have to see how this ends up being, because he's starting to creep with those outposts, trying to increase the network of castles. Well, I suppose network of citadels bonus at this point. It's going to get adjustable crossbars as well. Things have calmed down. Now he's going to go for a really hard market transition. He wants those traders. He wants them fast. Yeah, gold income is a bit of an issue for Demu. Sitting at about 600 per minute, whereas you've got the 2,000 per minute for the English so far. But that might actually start to drop soon, because I'm not sure he's got that many more villages on gold. We just had... Okay, he's going to go out to gold in the middle now. Looks like another attack being aimed at in the middle of the map. But you know what? I just want to say something. These Sipahi look absolutely phenomenal. Such a nice unit to look at. Take a look at that. Holy moly. Especially with the golden armor. They're going to try and make their way... Ooh, okay, alright. Well, they're struggling a bit to get through the trees, but Eventually they will all make through. Then a single file. Single file, lads. Make their way through. It looks like they're going to go through the west side of the map now. Alright, well, here come the Rams. Yep, a different position of attack, but got to be careful here, Demu, not to be caught unawares in the middle. Or does he decide to attack and raid, or does he actually try and defend? Looks like he's going to try and defend instead, because it makes sense, because he's already broken through loueMT. The same cannot be said for Demu. Reinforcements coming in, Spy trying to dive on the hand cannoneers as much as they possibly can, but they are being poked and prodded and slashed by the man-at-arms coming in from the west side and outside of that keep, but it's coming in to repair. There is a Great Bombard. They're going to snipe the Great Bombard. That's going to be a great pick-off if they can do it. The hand cannoneers, though, demolishing the Sipahi is definitely a decent trade. The hand cannoneers will rip through the Sipahi eventually, but it's going to keep the keep alive, at least for now. There's so many Springwalls here, 5 of them. Always got to be careful here. Louis, you got to keep these guys safe. I think he will. The Spy won't be able to make it in time. The hand cannoneer mass starting to become very scary for the Englishes, but he's breaking through on the west side. Villagers coming out to maybe take out the Rams, but if Sipahi could be there right now, that'd be great. Fortunately, he's having to focus in the middle. The keep is staying alive for now, but will we see another Great Bombard? We do exactly see just that. Well, regular Bombard, I should say. And the Bombards are going to start working on that keep. Villagers have the garrison inside. And this is going to be a problem situation. Ottomans might lose this keep in the middle. Might lose that sacred site and that precious sort of gold income that's coming in. Keeps on fire. Don't think it's going to last too much longer. Looks like it's going to go down very soon. There it is. The keep goes down for the Ottomans, and now the English can push forward once again in this match. But he's broken through with 3 Rams. No units there just yet. It looks like they're going to try and rebuild that stone wall. And that's actually a really good trade when you think about losing those Rams to stone. Because, you know, stone is what it costs for making those stone walls, and that's what loueMT is going to have to invest in. It's going to demolish through these units, though. There's just not enough here for loueMT. Reinforcements coming in thick and fast with the Sipahi. Such a beautiful unit for the Ottomans. Made a big deal about the Great Bombards, but the Sipahi are getting huge... Oh, this is bad. loueMT is losing his siege. This is a big oversight. Those Sipahi just need to dive on the siege if they can. Going to take out Bombard. Oh no, loueMT lost a lot of resources there very quickly. And this push is now going to grind to a halt because he can't just make it with units. He needed siege and he didn't keep it protected. Now he's paying the price. Well, was looking to break on the east side as well. Going to be keeping that side secure for now though, Louis. An absolute fantastic game so far. Janissaries... Oh, apologies. Janissaries though in the middle. They do need to back away for now. Man-at-arms are trying to chase them down. Alright, the Bombard might deploy. There we are. Great shot on them. Not as much splash damage as I thought would come out of that, but the Sipahi tanking on the front line. Another great shot coming out. Now the issue is he's got to deal with that Great Bombard. Louis, he's got to find a way of dealing with it. He just lost all his siege, right? No real oomph to this attack at all without those siege engines. He's going to take out the Rams very quickly. The outpost will stay alive for now. Janissaries need to focus on the man-at-arms. Hand cannon is on the back line for Louis. Bombard is getting great value. Sipahi just taking out a couple of the man-at-arms. Where are they going off to the Rams? He's going to try and take care of those. Does mean that the army split here for Demu a little bit. Another batch of Sipahi come out to join the fight. 2 Rams coming into the fight once again, and the Great Bombard going to dish out a lot of splash damage on the hand cannoneers on the back line. Oh, on the north, it looks like it's going to try and attack that trade route. But Demu... Oh, I don't think Demu has enough to deal with that. He doesn't have enough. The man-at-arms will tank a lot. But he's going to push on the middle, going to take care of the Rams. The outpost should just about... No, he's going to go down. Unless there's villagers to repair. The outpost will go down in the end. We'll have to see if villagers get pulled. Doesn't look like it. In the north. Okay, it looks like the Sipahi now are enough to deal with it. The trade is alive. And that's what's really key. loueMT, I think that's a big issue. Needs to deal with the trade. At the moment, 35 traders in total. And that's probably the big source of concern for Demu at the moment. Trying to keep that trade safe and secure. Does have the stone wall. In fact, it makes you wonder, how did they get in? Must have peeled off a couple of units in the main attack in the middle. Speaking about main attack, here comes another with a Bombard on the back line. The Sipahi on the front again, acting as a meat shield. Man-at-arms is the main choice of unit for the English. Janissaries behind them. And it means that there's no cavalry on the field for the English. Janissaries ripping through man-at-arms on the front. And this is a great fight for Louis, though. He's pushing it back with the Rams as well, joining in the fight. Siege is an issue. for Louis, though. Doesn't have a bombard at all. He's going to rely on rams for now, it seems. It could turn into a wood game, considering how long it's going. 2 bombards. Starting to group up. Look at the wood count. Though, for Demu, it's looking healthy. It might be adding in some bombards into the mix with the new ones that he's getting, the free ones. Looks like he's got some siege workshops. There we are, 2 of them there. Going for springles for now. Be careful of these 2 springles that Louis has. It might be able to focus them with the great bombards themselves. Janissaries pushing this army away. Sipahi pushing it away. Doesn't quite have enough here, you feel, Louis. A lot of rams there for Louis, but they're not really doing too much at this point. Just sitting there looking pretty. On the sacred site, that's where the main fight is. Janissaries in such good numbers there for Demu. 21 of them. 2 bombards start to unpack. They start to fire off, and huge amounts of splash damage coming out. loueMT frantically trying to keep that outpost alive, but 4 rams will make short work of that, you feel. Sipahi right in once more. He's got to be careful. He might lose a bombard here, Demu. He keeps it alive for now. This guy has 420 HP. It's so strong. It's got the meta attack bonus helping it along as well. 15% on that guy. Absolute meat grinder of a game, but look at the food bank for loueMT. He's bringing 4,000 food per minute. He can't keep that food bank alive. Always chewing into it. This feels like Demu's taking the better trades and better fights. He is breaking through once again on the west side. There is a keep defending though. Villagers being pulled by Demu. Yeah, this is a problem. This is a big problem for Louis. Doesn't have the food. Which is kind of crazy when you think about it. It's got 4,000 food coming in. He needs units. He's struggling. Demu's at population cap 200. Louis is only 183. He needs those units fast. I think the bigger concern is that there's a big death ball of siege units for Demu. And I think we just had another one coming out. Another springald. With 3 bombards, this could be problematic. Trying to get a keep. No. The keep goes down, and he loses all of that stone there, Louis. 3 bombards, just enough to one-shot it. Oh, that's devastating. It doesn't have enough stone for another keep, and now with the siege that's on the field, looks like the Ottomans are in a strong commanding position. Louis doesn't have any siege. He doesn't have any answer to the 3 great bombards. He loses a springald, though, the Ottomans. I take that back. There were 2 springalds hidden in the forest, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Oh, no, he's taking the man-at-arms in the north to try and deal with the trade, but he's got a bigger issue on his hands. I mean, sure, he's committed 14 man-at-arms on the north. Rams coming in the south. Demu looking trying to raid once again. He's going to head back with the bombards just for now. Can't take the fight in the middle just yet. loueMT starting to build up a bit of a force with those mangonels, though. Got to be careful here, Demu. Not as many Sipahi as there once were. There are 4 bombards, though. Now, this is an issue. If these 4 bombards stay alive, look at the damage that's going to come out with a shot. Great amounts of splash damage. Not all of them fired off at the same time either. Fighting underneath. A couple of imams there for the Ottomans. It's a great mosh pit. Hand cannoneers mostly without any meat shield for loueMT. That's not going to be enough to survive that battle. And he backs off for now. It's down to 35 military. Feels like loueMT sometimes trying to force the issue. That outpost is not going up. The trouble is, where do you go from here if you're Louis? Trade is secure once again for Demu. Going to take out the forward positions. And I think a lot of this comes down to the fact the network of citadels is always a bit of a difficult bonus to take care of, like take advantage of, considering you need outposts, whereas the Ottomans do have the mobile meta. Doesn't quite give us much attack speed. 15% versus 20, but still a decent amount. Man-at-arms being pulled off northwards, again to try and take the trade. That could leave him very exposed in the middle, though. This is an issue. This is a good army for Demu in the middle. There is a mangonel. Great bombards going to take out spearmen. Needs to be careful not to lose those great bombards, though, and keep them unprotected. Oh, the great bombards take care of themselves, though. In the north, big fight underneath the keep. I don't think there's enough man-at-arms. The spy just needs to kite, especially with the great bombard in placement. Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's a bit of a throwaway there for loueMT. He lost a lot. He's already struggling on food, and the man-at-arms are premium units. Ooh, that's a bad fight. That's a terrible fight, actually. He lost a lot of man-at-arms, and he didn't achieve very much with it. 3 great bombards. Going to take out everything in the front of their path. And now, with reinforcements coming in for free for the Ottomans, of course, with the military schools, this is going to look a little bit rough. Oh, is that being supervised? I think it's... Oh, yeah, it is. It is. It looked a bit far away, but it is being kind of boosted up by that blacksmith. Okay, this is a problem for the English. 4 great bombards. And just lack of spring ore. This could be a final fight that we expect to see in this match. Oh, that's a great shot by those 4 bombards. Look at the dead man-at-arms on the field. Absolutely decimated. And the bombards on the back line changing this match. And he's jumping on the hills. He's jumping on the walls rather. And he has now transitioned to elite longbowmen. But there aren't as many janissaries. Mostly Sipahi. Great bombards taking care of that meat shield man-at-arms as they try and charge in. But don't achieve that much. The Baksha Palace is still alive. That's possibly one saving grace for the English, but he's slowly being whittled down numbers. Now, whilst the Ottomans do have less military rather, just feels with the Great Bombard and the siege count that they have, it's looking strong for a big push coming in soon. Take a look at that. The siege damage coming in is very impressive. The splash damage. 5 Great Bombards remain. How's he going to deal with 5 great bombards, Louis? He only has 1 springald. There's no way he's going to deal with those great bombards. Will the man-at-arms get close enough? I'm not so sure. Has 1 mangonel. Rams coming into the fight as well, and that's going to detract a lot of the... this is very smart play. The Rams coming in, making those units come into the range of the great bombards. The great bombards taking care of the rest. The Rams pretty much as a distraction, as cannon fodder, if you will. Quite literally cannon fodder. The Sipahi pulling away, trying to kite the units as much as possible, try to pull them away from the main fight. I was going to peel away units, going to go south. Maybe do a bit of raiding on the farms if he can. But now with 6 great bombards, he needs to be a bit careful actually, Demu. I think he needs to back away. He doesn't have many units protecting those great bombards he loses. Siege engine, a springald I think in the end. Attacking the farms once again. Louis does pull the villagers away for now. Here come the reinforcements for Demu. Look at the gold income, 2,400 for Demu. I think farming transition with enclosures is just not enough. Almost feels like, oof, those man-at-arms. Jeez. It feels almost like the man-at-arms are just not enough. They're not enough here to deal with the bombards. They're getting melted. It feels like the English actually need to start trade themselves. It doesn't feel like enclosures is enough for the English anymore. I think now to rely on longbowmen. Feels like trade in the long term is actually better than enclosures, it seems. Great Bombard taking so many of those units out. Great fight on the sacred site. This could be a big push coming in. Does lose 1 Great Bombard. There are 3 springalds. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. If the Great Bombards focus on the springalds, it could be curtains. Going to focus on units for now. Raiding continuing. That will be taken care of by the spearmen. Demu still has 6 Great Bombards. And I think they'll really rip through the longbows. These guys aren't, they're not heavily armored. He tries to use a spread formation, does get it in time, but still a lot of units die. Janissaries will be ripped to pieces by the longbows, but the bombards are the issue. Here come the Sipahi, the natural counter to the longbows. There are a couple of spearmen there for the English trying to keep them at bay, but it doesn't really feel like it's going to be enough. Could this be the final push of the game? Could quite possibly be the Ottoman army starting to build up in numbers. Bombard numbers are still staying at 6. Another fresh one comes into the fight, and now the stone walls aren't going to be enough to keep them out. Doesn't feel like it either. Look at that, 28 food. Yep, Louis is struggling. He's got 28 food in the bank. 300, 400 food. It's not going to be enough. He can't keep up production. He's down to 153 population versus 200. This could be the big death ball push that we're expecting from the Ottomans. He's going to push in with the bombards, going to take down the stone walls, what remains of it. And then will be the Baksha Palace Janissaries with the meta buff ripping through what any man-at-arms comes in to fight. Sipahi taking care of the longbows. And the bombards doing absolutely everything else. There are still 3 springalds, but they're going to be taken apart by the bombards, you feel. Or even the Sipahi. The Sipahi are diving in to take out the springalds. And now that leaves the Great Bombards to take out the Berkshire Palace. And if the Berkshire Palace falls, ladies and gentlemen, that could be curtains, because loueMT now struggling on 142 population. The Berkshire Palace is on fire. One more fight could be in play for loueMT. Maybe. He needs to take care of the Great Bombards. Spy on the front line again, once again. Great unit for the Ottomans. Now, he's playing this so slowly and measured and methodically. Demu not taking any chances with those Great Bombards, keeping them alive. Gonna snipe the Springald maybe with the spy. Can he get close? Can't quite manage it. It might not matter. Still staying in there, Louis. Still hanging in there. But you feel like it's going to just be one or two more fights. There's no real answer to the Great Bombards. The Great Bombard push from the Ottomans. Here comes another one. Could this be one last fight for Louis? Looks like he's banking up resources and units as much as he can. 164 population versus 200. This is probably the main fight. Spy riding in, even against man-at-arms. Great Bombards deploying Janissaries on the back line. The outpost will go down, but he keeps a network of citadels bonus. But will that be enough? I'm not so sure. Great Bombards picking off units, splashing them out of the game. There are imams as well, and there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Louis taps out on a great game on Lipany and the Ottoman Great Bombard, showing how strong it can be. I hope you guys enjoyed the casted game. Take care, and see you next time.